What's up, fam? Steve Pletz of Steve Pletz and Team talking about Prop 19. So here's what you need to know. There are two main factors with Prop 19. One is a discussion of carrying your property tax basis if you're over the age of 55. The second is changes in the inheritance rules and what happens if a family member dies and leaves me a property. So let's start with number one, the discussion of keeping your property tax basis. If you're over the age of 55 and you go from primary residence to primary residence, meaning I sell the house that I live in and go anywhere else in California, I can carry my property tax basis. Now there's some caveats to it, which is if the departure property, the property that I'm selling, is less than the property that I'm buying, I do need to pay the difference. So here's a couple of real life examples. I bought a property in 1980 for $200,000. Today it's worth $1 million. And when I sell the property, I'm going to buy something either less or greater than $1 million. So I'm selling the property at $1 million. Of course, it's based on that property tax basis of $200,000. And when I purchase, if I purchase something under $1 million, then I carry my $200,000 basis. Or if I buy something above $1 million, then I'm only going to pay the difference between the $1 million, what I sold at, and the higher price. But you will continue to bring that basis. That's what most people know about Prop 19 is the discussion of that property tax basis transfer. The second most important part is the discussion of inheritance. And it used to be, prior to Prop 19, that if my parents died and left me a ton of property, that I would collect all of that property at a stepped up basis, which has to do with capital gains, but beyond that, that the property tax wouldn't change. Prop 19 says that the property tax basis changes unless the one that is inheriting the property, in my hypothetical, me moving, unless I move into that property as my primary residence. So what does that mean? It means that if your parents pass away or your grandparents pass away and they leave you property, that property is going to be reassessed for property taxes. So again, talking in that kind of a similar numbers, if my parents bought a property for $200,000 and that today it's worth $1 million, and we'll use round numbers that property taxes are 1%. Well, my parents are paying property taxes based on $2,000, 1% of $200,000, but the value today when they die is $1 million. And so it used to be that I would inherit that $2,000 basis. Now it gets reassessed and I pay $10,000, 1% of $1 million. Long story short, Prop 19 has pros and cons, and it definitely requires that you talk to a real estate professional. So let's connect and figure out how we can help you navigate all things Prop 19.